ॐ विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। मंत्र नंबर 11। न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चन्द्रतारकं नेमा विद्युतो भान्ति कुतोऽयमग्निः तमेव भान्तम् अनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति। So in the previous mantra, the Brahman has been explained as Jyotisham Jyotihi, the light of all lights. And definitely then therefore this light, the consciousness of Brahman, is different from all the lights. Because light of lights, so all other lights are of one type. And this light is basically of a different type. And this is a light of consciousness. And the consciousness is called Jyotihi or light because of it fits into the definition of light. And we have seen also, definition of light is in presence of which a thing is known. And in absence of that thing, in absence of the light, a thing is not known. Therefore, we call it as a light. So when anything which is known in the presence of something, and in absence of it, it is not known, then that is called light. And that is how sun, moon, etc., or even the fire, or the stars, or lightning, all these things definitely they fit into the definition of light. In presence of sun, a world is known, a thing is known. In absence of it, it is not known. Of course, if it is not there, something else, but then that is also light. That is how Upanishad describes in Swayam Jyotir Brahmanam, if sun is not there, then in presence of what? A thing is known. So say moonlight. If that is also not there, what is the thing in present? What is the thing in presence of which you know even a given thing? Then they say something else. I mean, stars or lightning or fire. Even that is also not there, and it's a pitch dark. Then words, right? Come here, this side. Even in a light, someone says like that. So basically your words throw a light for a person to come in that particular direction. And so that is how it has been described. Anyway, and this is a mantra, so na tatra suryo bhati, sun does not light up. Na tatra means there. Sun does not light up there. But so sun does not illuminate. We have to take it that way. That Brahman is basically, which is Jyoti, which is a light of all the lights, cannot be illumined by sun. The moon and stars also, na tatra na chandratarakam. So the moon and the stars also do not light up. or light the Brahman. Nema vidyuto bhantihi, these flashes of lightning also do not light the Brahman. Then kutoyam agnihi, because this is, this mantra has been chanted while showing an Karpur Arti to the Bhagavan. So kutoyam agnihi, basically, so, oh Lord, I don't think that this short-lived, I am agnihi, this short-lived, lighted camphor, which I am holding in my hand, how can it reveal you, in front? So, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, etc. So, basically everything shines after that self alone, that Brahman alone, which is light of all the lights. Jyotisham jyotihi. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. By its light, everything shines. In fact, by its existence, everything has existence. That's what actually the meaning is. Tasya bhasa eva. Because of it, because of Brahman alone, everything is revealed. So everything has existence. By the existence of which everything has existence. So everything is mithya. That is Satyam. Anyway, so this is the general meaning. So basically, but I am Brahman, which is self-revealing. Let's look into this particular thing. And for that, a simple exercise is there, which Swamiji employs in meditation. Puja Swamiji employs this. He generally says, that now he says like this, that I now ask you to do a following thing. What? So he says, I will say a few words. And when I say them, just keep seeing a meaning, that is object, in your mind. He says like that. You might have undergone that meditation several times. I am reminding at this point because this is very relevant here. And so then he will start saying words. Table. Just keep seeing the meaning, right? He says like that. So table, chair, computer, neighbor, tree, crow, sun, consciousness. So basically, when you say consciousness, for the word consciousness, what did you see? For table, you saw the meaning. For chair, you saw the meaning. Object. Meaning means object. Pada, padartha. Padasya artha, padartha. The meaning of the pada word is the object, padartha, object. So, for all this, table and this and computer and crow and neighbor, and so for every word, you definitely see a meaning, that is the object in your mind. But for the word consciousness, you did not see any meaning. And then the word without meaning is meaningless. So that is his logic. Fantastic it is. So it is meaningless. It is not meaningless. It is used by Shastra. Consciousness Chaitanyam. That is Brahman, of course. So it's the most meaningful word, in fact. It is the essence of the entire Veda. Where is the question? Entire essence of everything. Anyway, so it is not meaningless. And yet you don't see an object, a meaning. And so when I say the word consciousness, you did not see any object. Well, still, so you cannot say it does not have a meaning. If you can't see the object pertaining to that word, then you are the meaning. Okay, that's the thing. Why? Because you are the one which does not require to be objectified. You are the one who objectifies everything. Well, could not be objectified. And therefore, if consciousness word could not, you don't see an object or a meaning in your mind, well, you are the meaning. That's the thing. And therefore, so basically, I, the Atma, is the consciousness, which is the content of the seer. Therefore, I, the consciousness, I can replace the word consciousness, I can put the word seer, because ultimately the content of seer is consciousness. If a content of a pot is the clay, definitely I can use, instead of a word pot, I can use clay. Therefore, the same I, which can be used for word consciousness, I can use it for seer, hearer, etc. And what is seen is object. A seer is not available for objectification. What is heard is definitely available for objectification. The hearer is never available for objectification. The toucher basically is never available for the objectification. Any object of touch, well, because it is available for objectification, but this toucher, etc., is not available for objectification. And therefore, the content of the seer and hearer and the smeller and taster and etc., which is consciousness, which is the meaning of the word I. Now we will have to see this, how it is self-revealing, etc. This is simple to understand. See, think of a cow, think of a horse. When the cow is cow is displaced. When I use the word horse, a cow is displaced. Now horse is there. Think of a tree, think of a crow. Then tree replaces basically a horse, or a cow replaces a horse, and then tree comes, and then cow is replaced. So tree is replaced by a crow or any other thing. So one object displaces the other. When I ask you to think of a tree, does it displace consciousness? No. When I ask you to think of a horse, does it displace consciousness? No. A object, cow is displaced by a crow, but even though the crow has displaced cow, but crow is not able to displace consciousness. Basically, crow is not able to displace consciousness. And so, think of Russian ignorance. Well, is consciousness displaced? No. Think of English language, which you have knowledge. Well, it is not able to displace consciousness. So, remember something? Recollect something? But nothing is able to replace the consciousness. What did you eat in the breakfast? So, remember, what did you eat in the breakfast today? Wait a minute, Swamiji. Yeah, but consciousness is there. Whether you remember or not, that's a different thing. Whether you have ignorance or not, it's a different thing. Whether you know a thing or not, it's a different thing. But then, consciousness is never displaced. One object displaces other. Consciousness is never displaced. Think of past. Does it replace consciousness? No. Think of present. Does it displace consciousness? No. Think of future. When you think of future, past gone. Future displaces past. Consciousness is not displaced. Future can displace past. Future cannot displace consciousness. Present can displace future. Present cannot displace consciousness. And therefore, what displaces consciousness? That is I. Nothing really displaces consciousness. So, I. So you see a form. Well, you are there, right? You hear a sound. You are there. You taste something. You are there, right? So taste displaces a smell. Smell displaces something else. But you are not displaced. You, the consciousness, is never displaced. So any given emotion of you are there, hunger, you are there, thirst, you are there, recollection, you are there, cognition, you are there, you forget something, you are there all the time. And so basically what does not require to be objectified is this consciousness, I. And basically I am not displaced, and definitely that happens to be the consciousness. So every object of consciousness is getting a bath, total bath in the consciousness. Consciousness illumines. What I want to convey is that consciousness totally illumines. Literally, you can imagine even for a time being that every object of the consciousness, the object which cannot displace this consciousness, that object constantly taking a bath in the consciousness, thorough bath, like one gets drenched in the rain, right? Heavy rain, that kind of a thing. You can think that way. Because it's non-separate from the consciousness. That's what I want to convey. But Swamiji, it is outer, right? Because you say drench. Means nothing. I mean, the rain cannot drench my liver, Swamiji. Rain can drench my body. That's not here. It's not here. There it is okay. Here you say liver, consciousness. Yeah. You say my thought, consciousness. You cannot displace. So it's a thorough bath. Inner, inside, outside, everything. Is totally. It is just consciousness. It's a dense consciousness. Prajnana ghanaha. Nothing is there. But Swamiji, all these things are there when of course I am not able to displace the consciousness out of anything. Well, but then there is all these names and forms are there. Yeah, that is what the Maya is. Anyway, so this is all non-separate from the consciousness. That is all Maya. What the given name and form, of course. But anyway, so everything is bathed in this consciousness, which is a object of consciousness, of course. And so for this consciousness we use, which is never an object, and therefore it is not an object, it cannot be revealed. It does not. It doesn't need to be revealed. It doesn't need to be revealed. Not it cannot be revealed. If it cannot be revealed, well, then ultimately the consciousness word becomes meaningless. But even though object of consciousness displaces, one object displaces the other object, but any object presupposes consciousness. Therefore, object cannot displace consciousness. Before object arises, the consciousness is. And that object gone, consciousness is. So object gone is displaced by another object. And a new object appears. Before that, consciousness is. That object gone, consciousness is. And therefore, consciousness is something which is never available for objectification. Consciousness is something which cannot be revealed cannot be revealed also, because it is not an object. And consciousness is something which does not require to be revealed, which we call it as a self-revealing. It's a self-revealing. And so what does not require to be objectified is this I, and that is what consciousness is. And so, which is called Chit or Brahman here, which it's self-revealing Brahman. And that is the nature of I, referred by the word I, and everything else needs consciousness to get revealed. And consciousness is self-revealing. And to help this, an imagery is used, which is in this mantra, of course, is there. Upanishad uses this imagery, basically, and this mantra appears in this Upanishad as well as in other Upanishad also. And so, that imagery, well, of course, it's from the standpoint of our eyesight, basically. So to see an object, well, with your eyes, the essential requirement is light. And if the object is luminous, well, like the sun or fire or something like that, or is a glowworm also, well, in the night, or the stars, whatever. So basically, or a lamp, basically. So then you do not require a light to light it up. If a self-luminous kind of a thing, it's a luminous, let's say, so forget about the self now. So luminous, okay. If a luminous object is there, you don't require any external light to light it up. Sun is luminous. Sun does not require a light to light it up. It's a luminous. And there are other types of objects in the world. which reflect the light of this luminous lights, and that is how they are seen. Means they are opaque basically. So two types of objects are there: luminous, opaque. Luminous light does not require any light to light it up. Opaque light definitely basically reflect the light of the luminous objects, and thereby they are seen. They are lighted up. Now for luminous things we will use one verb. For opaque things we will use another verb. Two verbs are used in the mantra. One verb is bhati, shines. One verb is anubhati, shines after, reflects. Same thing. And therefore, we'll use this two verbs for the objects in the world: luminous, opaque. Right now, you see, this Swami is sitting here, and you see the physical body. Does it bhati or anubhati? Definitely anubhati. Because every opaque, body is opaque, definitely you know. So every opaque object that is not self-luminous is anubhati. Whereas a luminous object like sun, stars, fire, etc., or a lightning, etc., they are bhati, shines. So this is a situation that we know also. And so Upanishad takes this particular fact and uses it as an imagery to launch into the process of cognition of revealing, cognition of this Atma, which is self-revealing. Ultimately, it leads to that. It leads to this process, this particular process, this particular imagery also leads you to ultimately an Atma, cognition of an Atma which is self-revealing. That is, for that purpose only this mantra is there, to reveal the self-revealing nature of Atma, which is consciousness. And that has been mentioned in the previous mantra as Jyotisham Jyotihi, a light of all the lights. The light of all the lights indicate, well, this also of a nature of light, but quite distinct from the other lights in terms of its nature. Other lights are all physical lights. This is not physical light. Otherwise, if it is a physical light, then they would add along with other lights, but they are not adding. In fact, they are saying, in fact, all these lights, physical lights, are also lighted up by this light. And therefore, ultimately, this light is the ultimate light, which is called self-illumining. So, light should illumine itself, right? And therefore, this light, ultimate light, which is all light of all the lights, which is you, in fact. That's what I told you in the beginning itself, that I is the one which is this consciousness, or Brahman, which is Jyotisham Jyoti. Anyway, but we'll arrive at the nature and we'll discuss few more things also. There are certain questions pertaining to that. Anyway, so let's start then. So when the sun shines, basically I use bhati. Granted now, because we have already decided for a luminous thing, self-luminous thing, we will use word bhati. And the opaque objects, well, basically which reflect the light of this self-luminous object, well, we call it as the anubhati. Shines after. Naturally, they shine after reflecting the light. So anyway, so when the sun shines, basically I use word bhati, that is for granted. But can the sun reveals its existence or luminosity if my eyes are closed? No. And therefore, so this imagery here is with reference to this visual perception. And therefore the sun shines, we can extend it to other things also. This is just for the visual perception, ultimately to arrive at the self-revealing nature of Atma. But you can take any other thing. Well, we'll see also perhaps. So the sun shines means it is luminous, of course. but depending upon what? Depending upon my eyes ultimately. And so the sun is luminous, I can say, only when my eyes light up the sun. And therefore, ultimately, the eyes have light up. I mean, eyes basically have to light up the sun, the moon, the stars, lightening objects, everything, and whether they are opaque, luminous, etc. And so, all objects, luminous or non-luminous, opaque, they all are basically lighted up by the eyes. Whole world. So light up by after the eyes. And therefore for them, for all of them, we should use word anubhati. For eyes I have to use, because eyes light up, eyes shine. So bhati. And sun shines after, naturally. Therefore anubhati. That's how. This is our arrangement. So sun shines. Oh, fine. But basically your eyes shine, then sun shines, okay? And therefore sun is anubhati. Moon anubhati. Lightning anubhati. Fire anubhati. Eyes bhati. That is how it is. Very beautiful process to arrive at you, the self-revealing Brahman. So the pairs of eyes, well, basically now bhati or anubhati. No, bhati. Okay, go ahead. Well, without the eyes, even the light cannot reveal itself. So all physical lights cannot reveal. And therefore in this imagery, the forms and colors, and including the sun, etc., all shine after the eyes, bhati. But now second question. Can the eyes shine without a mind while backing the eyes? No. Therefore the pair of eyes also basically shine after the mind. And therefore now we have to say eyes anubhati, mind bhati, manaha bhati, chakshuhu anubhati, chakshuhu bhati, suryaha anubhati. This is how process. And well, the mind also, and the mind shines after whom? Mind shines after whom? So after I. What is that I, Swamiji? Now we will catch you, Swamiji. We'll catch you. I will introduce something, new thing to you, which will be discussed in Panchadashi later. So I means the very knower. Knower shines. Of course, Swamiji mentions in this mantras, Mundakopanisad. Swamiji's commentary, Swamiji has mentioned this pramata also. Now, but I will have to explain this. I, the knower, shine, therefore mind shines. Thereby the eyes shine. Thereby the world shines. Now this I, the knower, it shines. Right? So we feel it is ultimate thing. That is what we think. That is what we think. I am a knower. That's a final reality for me. No, sir. Even this I, the knower, shines due to something else. The very witness consciousness is present in the buddhi, in the mind. Thereby the I thought shines. I thought shines. I thought shines because the Sakshi shines. Please connect. Yesterday I told you. The Sakshi shines there, and therefore I shine. What? But then Swamiji, I shine, I thought is not basically that is knower, you said, but knower is conscious. Yeah, that's what it is. Because the consciousness lends consciousness to that I thought. Thereby it shines. And lending consciousness is forming Chidabhasa. And therefore, basically, I thought, because of a special nature of that I thought, compared to the world. So I thought is like a mirror. So it immediately reflects the consciousness. And thereby this Chidabhasa is there. Thereby I thought shines. So I thought plus Chidabhasa is equal to Pramada, the knower. What happens is, when consciousness manifests in the subtle body called mind, immediately mind, becomes active and forms two kinds of thoughts. One is aham vritti, other is idam vritti. And both have that chidabhasa. And then idam vritti travels along with the chidabhasa outside and whole world lights up. And aham vritti shines in the form of a knower. Idam vritti along with the chidabhasa and comes out of the particular aperture and shines, lights up object called known. That's how it is. But what about mind, Swamiji? It's called pramanam, means of knowledge. So the consciousness manifests into the mind called pramanam, and thereby the pramanam becomes active, the mind becomes active, like the water in the vessel remains quiet unless it comes in contact with the fire. When it comes in the contact with the fire, immediately water starts dancing. So now you have understood where it is coming in Panchadashi. There are people here, fortunate, etc., maybe, and they might have already heard this. It's coming in 10th chapter. But I am telling you, this is very, very important, which Vidyaranya has explained that. So the mind, the pramana bhaga basically, becomes active and forms two types of thoughts, aham vritti, idam vritti. And definitely, both have a chidabhasa. And so aham vritti plus chidabhasa becomes pramata, and idam vritti, comes out. Along with that chidabhasa comes out and pervades the object. That is the vritti vyapti. And the chidabhasa which is there in the vritti, idam vritti, lights up this object, becomes known, prameyam. So this is how pramata, pramanam and prameyam. This is how it is. And therefore, why do you want to hurriedly tell this? Because very pramata is nothing but a part of mind only. And therefore pramata is not a final thing. But why do I consider myself as a pramata? Because basically when you light up the mind and form a chidabhasa, but that mind has already ignorance. Karana Sharira is there. And therefore you take yourself as a pramata. You take yourself as a chidabhasa, identified with the aham vritti, of course, and so you take yourself as a knower. That's all. Even though you are a sakshi, but where you manifest, you take it as yourself, not knowing yourself because of avidya. And therefore, instead, even though you are a chit consciousness, but you take chidabhasa as yourself. And chidabhasa definitely is already identified with aham vritti. You cannot separate aham vritti and chidabhasa. Never possible. Never. It's not possible. Now, Swamiji, may I know only just chidabhasa and aham vritti? It is impossible. It's impossible. Any reflection and the medium goes together. You always non-separate. Medium is not there, just reflection. Impossible. Impossible. And therefore, even though you are consciousness, self-revealing, but you take yourself identified with the aham vritti. That's called Atmanatma Viveka also. Anyway, Chidabhasa also is a part of Anatma. Please understand this. Never take Chidabhasa as a consciousness, because otherwise there will be two consciousnesses. Okay? Consciousnesses. Chidabhasa is basically a reflection. It is as mithya as Anatma. It is as mithya as people say Chidabhasa is Chaitanyam. Never say that. It's a abhas. So it is a abhasa. So it is not a reality. Yeah. Reality is you, the witness consciousness which is present in the buddhi. As a witness. Witness of every thought. Aham vritti, idam vritti, everything. But how can you say that? Well, in a deep sleep state, both resolve. Pramata also resolves. Prameya also resolves, being part of mind. That is not your reality. So Pramata is also lighted up by you. This is Jnana. This is called Ahankara Atma Viveka. That's a main Viveka. That is what Drugdashya Viveka talks about. This is the Viveka. Ahankara Atma Viveka. By all else, this body was not me. That's okay. That's okay because Ahankara pervades, of course, but that basically, this is okay. Ultimately this, that I am a witness consciousness present in the Buddhi. What is obtaining in the Buddhi is this witness, not just Chidabhasa. What is obtained in the Buddhi is Chidabhasa. That's Ajnana. What is obtained in the Buddhi is consciousness, Brahman. Self-revealing Brahman is Jnanam. That's how they say, Yo Veda Nihitam Guhaya. If you want to know consciousness, well, Buddhi is the only one. That's a Brahmapura. Anyway, so basically this is how even I, the knower, shines. Therefore the mind shines. Definitely. Mind is illumined by the consciousness, Sakshi. And therefore I, the knower, shine. Therefore the mind. So the I, Pramata, Bhati, Manaha, Anubhati, Manaha Bhati, eyes Anubhati, eyes Bhati, Surya, Chandra, Vidyut, all Anubhati, another all objects, luminous, opaque, all shine after eyes shine. Eyes shine after mind shines. Mind shines after the knower shines. So I, the knower, shine because consciousness, witness consciousness, shine. How can you say? Maybe the mind shines well, so I shine. I shine whether the mind shines or not. And so when the mind goes to sleep, basically I shine. See, it's the glory of you, right? So we are light of all the lights. When the mind goes to sleep, well, I shine to get up and say I've slept well. So we are present, right? And therefore, when the mind dreams, I shine. When the mind sleeps, you shine. When the mind dreams, you shine. I shine, okay? Lighting up the dream. And when I am awake, my eyes are open, things are seen, then I light up the mind. And with the mind, eyes light up everything, all the forms, etc., etc. So in every perception, whether it is a form perception, sound perception, smell perception, taste perception, touch perception, or cognition of an inferred object also, which is what is invariably present in all, is self-evident I, right? Sound consciousness, form consciousness, taste consciousness, inferred object consciousness, everything, either perception or inference, consciousness is invariably present. Objects are variable, they displace each other. No one has a capacity to displace me. I am invariable. No one has a capacity. So I shine all the time, all the way. Even time folds up, not just objects, sound and touch and all. Not just objects, even time folds up, space folds up as it happens in sleep. While still I shine. I shine. So I shine, time, Anubhati. Okay? I bhati, I. Now real I, huh? I bhati. Knower does not basically shine up the time. Knower is within time. Yeah. Time affects the knower also, attacks the knower also. So out of the 3 states of experience, the knower is there only in 2 states. In 3rd state, he has to say, I will have to go now. I'm tired. I will have to go for rest. Time is present. But this basically, it is within time. Take it that way. Knower is within time. What is known is within time. Means of knowledge within time. Everything within time. Yeah. I am the one, well, who is present even when time folds up. I am the one who is present even when the space folds up. I am the one who is present when objects of consciousness fold up. And therefore, time and space are manifest and I shine, and when they fold up, they become unmanifest, I shine, and therefore I, the consciousness, lights up everything. Jyotishamapi tad jyotihi, it is a very, very simple meaning. Not just I light up all the lights, I light up everything, including time and space. Now let us little further, let us extend now. The I is self-evident, which is bhati, and everything else, means now the entire world, anubhati, shines after, which is evident to me, I, which is evident to I. So the world of forms becomes evident because of my eyes. The world of sound becomes evident because of my ears. The world that is inferred by me, well, a black hole, whatever, etc., which is a part of world, becomes evident through my reasoning, etc. So anything inferred also is there because it becomes evident to me, the I. So when everything is evident to the I, shining after consciousness means, well, shining after the consciousness I, well, what is not evident to you? What is not evident to you? What is not evident to you? Nothing. There is nothing that is non-evident. The only so-called object in this world that does not require any evidence for its existence is I. I will tell you this sentence in a different way. The only object means within, because it's a subject actually. The only object in this world that does not require any proof means any means of knowledge for its existence is I. Is I. And without the I being self-evident, can there be anything to become evident to you? No. Look at this process now. The Swami is evident. You will say, because Swamiji, we see you. You are evident. Evident means revealed, illumined. So Swami is because I see. You will say that. The Swami talks because I hear. And your body is, well, your eyes see. So that's how, suppose if somebody says, man, my body is, because, well, I see my body. Okay, but your eyes see because you see that, right? Your body is because, well, Swamiji, my eyes see my body, therefore my body is, okay. But my eyes see because ultimately you see that. You are the light who light up even the eyes. We have seen that, of course. And so your mind is thinking about this because right now, all these things, your mind is thinking about because you see it. So you see what is going on in your mind. So there is always a because. Swami is because I see. My eyes see. My eyes see because you see. You light up your eyes. You light up your eyes because you light up. You light up. Human's consciousness. You light up. So when because stops, you have reached the destination, right? You have reached the destination. That is the self-revealing Atma. Now, for everything. So the computer is, because Swamiji, I see that through my eyes. Anything. And well, your eyes see. How do you know? Well, I know. My eyes see, because I see that my eyes see. And therefore ultimately what I'm saying is, for for revealing everything and proving its existence, you need means of knowledge, etc., or you need consciousness. When we talk about consciousness, you don't require any proof, any means of knowledge. And therefore, basically, if I ask you a question, you will find it. Do you exist or not? Swami exists because, Swamiji, I see you. Swami's body is. So you say, well, my eyes see. Well, I ask you now, do you exist or not? You say, I exist. Now say because. I exist. Swami's body exists because I see. Proof. Evidence. I exist. Which means of knowledge? You don't require any means of knowledge. So I exist because I exist. That shows, well, for your existence, for existence of I, you don't require any evidence. You don't require any means of knowledge. You don't require any proof. Because if you are able to give an answer, give a reason, well, then you are not self-revealing. Every other thing in the world requires, basically, they are revealed, because ultimately consciousness is there. Consciousness exists, or I exist. I means consciousness, I have already told you. So I exist, consciousness exists. Why? Well, you will not be able to say because. And therefore, you are self-revealing. This is called aparoksha. What is self-revealing is aparoksha. Without any means of knowledge, without any pramana, without any proof, without any evidence, well, my existence is. That's called self-existent also. What is self-revealing is self-existent. What is self-existent is self-revealing. And therefore it is one and the same thing. We call it Swatah Siddhaha Swayam Prakasha. Swatah Siddhaha and Swayam Prakasha, ultimately there is same thing. My body exists, well, you will say, because my eyes see, right? And therefore, basically, my body is not able to illumine itself. Well, you say, my eyes illumine, Swamiji, your body. Yeah. And therefore, definitely, my body is not illumining itself. And therefore, definitely, what is my body exist? Well, definitely, it is dependent upon, it is illumined by your means of knowledge. But I, the consciousness, exist, well, does not require any proof, does not require any pramana, does not require any evidence. And therefore, so when someone asks, do you exist or not? Well, no one says that, well, I have to consult somebody and tell you. No, that's not the case. And therefore, do you have to consult your senses? You can ask this question. I exist because. But if you take the meaning of word I as a body mind sense complex, definitely you will have to say my eyes, due to my eyes, because I am seeing my body. Okay? I means the consciousness I am talking about. Now you know this, therefore I can say that. And therefore, I have not to consult even my senses, I have not to consult my mind, I have not to do any reasoning, etc. And therefore, definitely, that is how they always say, self is beyond the senses. This is the reason why they say, self is beyond the senses. Means it is not an object of the senses, in the sense that you do not need to prove the existence of yourself through senses. And therefore, you are beyond senses. Okay? You are beyond senses means, well, you will not be known at all. That also is possible. If anything is beyond senses, it will never be known. It's not that. You don't require, basically, you need not prove your existence of yourself through senses, and thereby it is told that you are beyond senses. Anyway, and basically, so this is called self-revealing. So in this world, this Jagat, basically, there is only one thing that is self-revealing without basically required to be revealed. That is only consciousness. And so, So in every revelation, consciousness have to be present because it is self-revealing. What is not self-revealing need not be present all the time. It is always displaced. Object of consciousness which is not self-revealing will keep on displacing each other. What is revealing, self-revealing, has to be present in every revelation. It's a revelation through the inference, revelation through perception. So that's how I said the consciousness can never be displaced. Because it is self-revealing. What object of consciousness is always displaced. Always displaced. Because it is not self-revealing. Self-revealing thing cannot be displaced. Cannot be displaced. It will be there all the time. In fact, because of this self-revealing consciousness alone, everything is revealed. Everything is revealed. And consciousness need not be revealed. Need not be objectified. Same thing. Need not be objectified. And therefore, this is the imagery. It has been used. And of course, we have to give up the imagery, and the light of imagery is some kind of a physical light, etc. has to be given up here. And we go to another kind of light called light of consciousness. Jyotisham, Jyoti, etc. has been explained. The light of all the lights, which is always there in every revelation. And revealing itself all the time. And what is revealing itself all the time is existing itself all the time. Naturally. Existing itself also all the time. There is never time when you are absent. That's what Bhagavan told in verse number 12. Yeah, in second chapter. That Arjuna never think that these people were not there before and they will not be there in future, and right now they are there, of course. But don't think all this. Natvam neme janadipaha. This janadipaha, these all the kings also were there in past. What are you talking, sir? Bhagavan. And they will be there in future after you kill them. Oh, how? Yeah. And not that you were not there before, Arjuna. You were also there and you will be there in future also, and you are there right now. And I was also there. He told like that. Yeah. There is never a time when consciousness is absent. And therefore, this Atma has to be experienced. My question is, Atma has to be experienced or recognized as it is? What is available all the time, what is self-revealing and self-existing, where is a question of experiencing itself? It is not recognized as it is. And therefore, it's always there. Therefore, there is no question of experience. It is to be understood as it is. So people who talk about experience and so on, they do not understand even this much. That that consciousness, the Atma, is self-existing, self-revealing. What is self-revealing? You cannot miss. If you miss, it's your misunderstanding. Like you are seeing my hand, just an example, you are seeing my hand and you still say the light is, I'm seeing only one thing. I'm seeing one thing, and that is your hand. Then I would say you have a misunderstanding. You are definitely experiencing something, but not recognizing, in which in fact even the hand is illumined. You say I am seeing the hand. I say that seeing of hand is possible because of another factor which you are missing. You are experiencing and yet missing. So the whole world is illumined, automatically proves consciousness is. Seeing takes place. Consciousness is there. Hearing takes place. A word is illumined, consciousness is there. A form is seen, a color is seen, consciousness is there. Taste is illumined. I'm experiencing taste. Consciousness is there. So I am experiencing hand, and yet you say that I don't experience any other thing other than the hand. That's a not proper understanding. In fact, you are missing something because of which you are experiencing even hand. So the world shines, taste, form, sound proves consciousness is simple, which is self-revealing, self-existing. And therefore, the consciousness by which every experience is revealed is present all the time. There is no question of experiencing consciousness or Atma. So, and all the teaching is about this consciousness, which happens to be I. Whole teaching is because for that. So that you recognize that you are that consciousness. That's all it is. You are missing it. Which is self-revealing should not be missed. Which is self-existent cannot be missed. What exists now and later it will not be, you will miss. What is self-existent you cannot miss. So anything you prove automatically proves consciousness. Even you infer, you prove black hole through inference, through reasoning, presupposes consciousness. And therefore, ultimately, anyway, so this is what the thing is. And now, after saying this, I will connect it with in verse few things are there. Because this problem, now the problem is this. Swamiji has mentioned, of course, that bhati anubhati does not prove one is satyam, one is mithya. Because generally it happens like, they say that Devadatta goes, Yajnadatta follows, goes after. What goes after and what goes, they are definitely not, what goes after is not mithya, and what goes is ultimately is satyam, we cannot say. So here, ultimately consciousness alone is self-existent, self-revealing, because of which everything shines. And therefore everything is basically what is anubhati, what shines after, well, is mithya, and this consciousness is satyam, etc., etc. So world is mithya, consciousness, Brahman is satyam. Cannot be said, because through bhati anubhati, it looks like that. Because if you take any other verb, well, it is not like that. Yajnadatta goes, gacchati. Devadatta anugacchati, follows, goes after. One is not dependent on the other. Both are of same order of reality. But in this bhati anubhati verb definitely proves that one is satyam, other is mithya. We'll see that tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.